Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited that you're here for the webinar on efficient app market development. Now I'll introduce you to some of our speakers. So today we have Hannah, the head of Wix Blocks. If you could give a little wave, Hannah. There she is. We have Idel, the integration engineer for Wix Blocks. And we also have Yaeli, the product manager for App Market. And I'm Grace, by the way. I'll be your moderator today. So this is our agenda for the webinar. We have an introduction about what we'll be talking about. We'll do a deep dive into Wix Blocks. Idel will do a live demo. And then we'll be talking about how you can monetize your applications. And then finally, we'll end with a Q&A section. Today, we encourage you to use the chat for any general conversation. And if you have any questions throughout this webinar, please type them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to Yaeli.
Thank you. So hi, everyone. I'm Yaeli, and I'm a product manager in the Wix App Market. And today I have some very exciting news to share with all of you. We'll be presenting a new product called Wix Blocks. Blocks is a real game changer that is going to revolutionize the way you are building your apps. It offers you all the tools you need to design professional widgets. It comes with Editor X layouts and design tools to help you make your widgets responsive and precise. In addition, you can add custom functionalities and interaction using Wix Code, Velo's API, and enjoy serverless coding in both frontend and backend. And during this webinar, we will be delving into details of Blocks, showcasing its powerful capabilities and demonstrating how it can simplify and enhance your app development process. Hannah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Yaeli. I'm Hannah from Blocks. And before we start with Blocks, I want to, today you're already Dev Center application creators. So you're already familiar with the concept of creating applications. Usually it will be basically creating outside of the Wix ecosystem. You're creating your UI in your own stack of development, you're managing your servers, you're managing all of your data, optimizing your databases, creating all of the experiences. And then once you're ready, you're coming and actually managing your application as part of the Wix Dev Center and introducing it, of course, to all of the Wix user base on the app market. I want to show you today how you can create full applications leveraging the abilities and the ecosystem of Wix and actually creating full applications on top of the Wix ecosystem with Wix Blocks. So Wix Blocks is a new editor that we're just rolling out now. And the whole purpose of this editor is for creating applications that can be used either privately or can be introduced to the app market. Basically, this editor will help you create applications with all of the concerns of applications, UI, logic, and everything. We'll deep dive into it very soon, and manage the full workflow of application creation. So once you're creating an application, you're usually creating the UI, you're managing, you're developing your logic. It could be front-end, back-end. I could be exposing APIs or integrating with additional services. You're managing your data, okay, storing everything in your databases, pulling it whenever ready, and monitoring anything. Then you can also manage all of the installation flow of what will happen once your consumers will be actually using your application, like what needs to be set up, where is the presence of this application, is it on the Wix site itself, like adding elements to stage, or is it like anything on the business manager or anything that needs to integrate with all sorts of like services of Wix? And in addition, you're controlling the editor experience of how your consumers will be actually interacting with your application. And finally, you're also usually introducing dashboard pages, which will appear on the business manager and will allow your consumers to manage the service and the settings of your application. So all of this can be done with Wix Blocks as a fully hosted and managed environment. And this is the real big game changer here. Like you don't need to actually manage anything outside of the Wix ecosystem. All of your code, including like backend code, don't need to have server hosting optimizations. Once you're managing data, it's all on the Wix Wix data environment, which is actually, if you're familiar with creating collections on Wix sites, it's the same mechanism. We're taking care of all of the installation flows. We're allowing you to create also the dashboard pages and setting up everything as a full flow of application creation. Of course, if you have your own servers, your own services external to Wix, or anything you want to embed, feel free to do it. Any combination of creating things on top of Wix blocks with the Wix tools and your own is available and just there for you. And on top of it, like taking care of the entire production aspect of application is also handled by Wix. Once you create things on Wix blocks, you're getting lots of UI components ready-made with lots of customization abilities, all of the update consents, security, anything related to caching. All of this is actually handled as part of the Wix ecosystem. I'm handing off to Ido to show you a quick demo on creating things on blocks.
Hey everyone, thank you very much, Hannah. So we're gonna do a little tour of how to access blocks and how to use the Wix Blocks workspace. So we're in the Dev Center that you already know. All we need to do right now is just add a new component, a new Wix Blocks component. This will take us directly into the Wix Blocks workspace. Now, what we see here is the workspace itself once it's loaded. And once we build it, the app, and play with it a little bit, we can also see the component inside the Dev Center app. So an app in Wix Block is a bundle of UI, backend code and front-end code, databases, dashboards, and design, everything, and logic for the UI itself. Now, everything can be put in together. It can also stand alone in each part of it and can be partially built with these parts of the app. So the first thing we're going to do is see the stage of the workspace. We have here on the left side the elements panel. Now, all you have in here are ready-made components that you can use just in a drag and drop way directly onto your stage. You can have here also soft layouts, building repeating patterns or responsive layouts and stuff like that, and also have embed code and embed components. So if you feel like you're missing something, if there is something that you need that you're already built and you want to integrate into our apps, you can do it right here with custom elements or embedded code and stuff like that. This is a really convenient and a game changer for you, as it gives the designers of your team fully independent building options, and there is no reliability between the designers and the developers. A thing that really can increase the velocity of developing app in your team. Now, let's go and see an app that we already built. So what we have here on the left is the widgets menu. Here we can switch between widgets and see what we have and build them. We have down below here design presets. Now, design presets gives you the ability to design different layouts and styles for your UI. So again, there is no need for developers to do anything. Anything can be done on stage using our ready-made components. Everything is already wired to themes, so your users won't need to customize anything afterwards. And you can build all sorts of UIs and style that your users can consume on their editors once they install the app. There is also the code for the widget itself that you can write down here below. Everything is inside the editor itself, no need to go anywhere else. We also have here our backend and public functions, things that allow you to build and use all of Wix's backend services and also use your own services that you already have. This is great as you can use things with no authentication directly right here inside the app itself, and it can work really faster and take off a lot of things that you used to do right here in a really convenient way. And you can also have NPM packages that you might already know and love and use inside the Wix app. We also have here collections, which are our databases. This is, again, integrated into the app itself, is installed with the app. And this is something that gives you the ability to use databases that you don't need to host anywhere, just on your site or just on the user's sites. And you can interact with it directly from the widgets code and also the backend code. Everything is right here and convenient and ready to use. And we also have dashboard pages. Now, dashboard pages gives the full managing options for your users. You can build them inside the app and they will be installed and added to the site's dashboard. It looks just like any other dashboard page. It's totally intuitive for the users, and they can manage their app in a really convenient and quick way in the site's dashboard. This is a really great tool for you and your users to use and create the interactions between the app and the site's dashboard. Now, let's go a little bit to the consumption side and see how it looks on the, oh, sorry, not this, sorry. Let's see how it looks in the editor itself. So we have here the widget. All you need to do in order to add it is just go right here into the add panel and drag it onto the stage. If we can look at it, we see all the components are touchable. We can change everything directly in our site. We can edit the text, we can change the image. Everything is customizable for our users to use. We can also have here, we can see that we have already the dashboard within our site, and we can also open it from right here. And we can also build and create all sorts of other things and use it right here. Now, this seems like a lot of things. And if, for instance, you don't want your users to be able to decide to change the image directly or stuff like that, that's great. And we have a solution just for that. So if we go back into our workspace, we'll see here that we have the configuration tab. This tab gives you the ability to decide how your users will interact with the widget and the UI on the editor. And this is a way for you to decide the editor behavior for your widget. So you can decide which components can be selected or not. You can decide what you want to be in the action bars, both of the widgets and the inner components. And this is a really great tool for you to customize the user's ability to change things on the editor. And even another thing that you can do is also build customized panels that you can give your users the ability to interact with the widgets and all the things that you want right from within the widget UI. So for instance, we have this panel right here, and we can see we can have code for it. We can add all sorts of other elements. And once we go into the editor, we can just choose this, for instance, and we'll see the panel right here. Second. You can see the panel right here. Yeah. I guess I have some internet connection issues. Sorry. Now, last thing that we want to talk about is managing your app and versions after you build it. So after you publish it. So for instance, you want to publish the app and you want to configure and you want to keep on working on on new features and new designs and stuff like that. So first of all, you can check everything right here inside the Wix Blocks workspace with a preview. You can change and see the site theme. You can test API properties and stuff like that, which is really cool and convenient. Another thing that you can do is also when building the app, you can use 3 types of versions. For releasing the app and at the end for the users to get the new versions, you can use minor and major versions. But we also have test versions, which gives you the ability to install a test version in your site. It's something that's only application contributors can use, and it will give you the ability to release new versions only to yourself and test them on the editor and live site and see how it acts. And you can also configure at the end how you want your app to be installed in the editor and how it will behave upon installation. For instance, what will be added or not added to the stage, if you want it to be in the ad panel or not. And there are all sorts of other things that you can do. And we really encourage you to start exploring and seeing and start working on the workspace itself.
Thank you, Ido. So I hope you're excited as we are about this tool. And let's go over, just to recap, a couple of key advantages for you on using blocks. So I think the first one is quite evident. It's like just giving you a velocity tool to really create fast your application. Lots of services that are already made, easy creation of UI with drag and drop, lots of elements that are already there in the ad panel, and everything is already wired to the theme. Beyond that, like writing code, being exposed to all of the libraries and services of Wix, and being able to introduce and host, manage your data in a really easy way. And we'll soon even have a faster way for that. Like if you're familiar with data binding, which is a codeless ability to code your UI to data, coming really soon, and will also make your application creation even faster. Beyond that, everything is cross-editor. So once you created an application on blocks, it immediately works on all of the editors, and you don't need to make sure it's like a native ability. Like it will behave exactly and adapted exactly to each one of the editors that you're installing on. So for example, in the Wix editor, it will behave with floating actions or floating panels, but in the editor X, it will match the working pattern and UX of the editor X. And beyond that, you've seen in the demo that everything by nature is matching the theme. So you don't need to code anything in order to adapt your UI to the theme of any site that your users will be creating. Also, we've seen that for your consumers, it will be a very intuitive and very easy to customize experience. Like all of the elements, or the ones at least that you choose, come also already by nature with lots of customization abilities. So out of the box, every text box, every button, every image, every other element that you'll be placing comes already with lots of customization abilities that Wix is taking care of. And if any new ability will be added, they'll get it also for free, just available on your application. The only thing you need to take care of is that if you want to disable anything or take it out because it's not relevant to your use case, you can take it and you'll do it with customization. Beyond that, if you want to offer or cater different business needs or different layouts for your widgets, you can do that with presets. I think on this example of countdown, it's really evident that the same functionality of simply counting down to a certain date can take lots of different business cases. It could be with different visual backgrounds, like whether you want to present your brand logo video or something that really matches the site of the user. And of course, they'll be able to customize it in a very easy way because it's just another element that they can customize. Or even in terms of the functional or business aspect for it, you can do a countdown that in one example is just counting the days to the event or counting to the seconds, or cater different layouts like vertical and horizontal in a very flexible way. And as we've shown it in the demo, it doesn't require any development. Like everything is owned by your designers. And this is like an additional velocity tool that allows you, together with teamwork, to double up your work. Like the developers will take care about the logic and implementation, and designer can progress with many more layouts and UI. I want to show you a couple of examples of applications and with different types to open your mind to what can be created on blocks. But I think the easiest thing to imagine are all sorts of like UI widgets and expressions that are simply added to the site abilities. So it could be from very small elements like QR code readers, all sorts of like social bars, counters, calculators, custom forms, could be things that are more targeted for certain business needs, like exposing application download, for example, or pricing plans, donation, anything that you can imagine. It could be also like full stack, full business solution that will dramatically change your consumer sites and actually answer the business need they're looking for. This example is of a real estate site that was actually a real estate application that was created on Blocks. And basically, you can really imagine like 100 different business solutions that can also be created on Blocks. Each one of them will add pages, add elements to stage, will create a dashboard that will manage the business and everything, like as a full-blown business solution that adapts the site that it's installed on. Soon we'll also have the ability to introduce plugins. This is a really exciting ability to extend Wix solutions with your own UI that's natively embedded as part of the Wix widgets. So, for example, you can take the cart or checkout and extend it, for example, with, let's say, related applications, like related products, recommendations, reviews. It could be for service booking or any other solution. This is not available so far, like you cannot extend it today, but with blocks and plugins, this is a new ability that really will open new frontiers for business solutions. And of course, if you have your own UI elements or abilities that are created outside of the Wix ecosystem, you can simply embed it. It could be as a full widget, as part of the widget, or any combination of the above. I think that's it. Switching back to Yaeli. Publishing and monetizing.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Hannah. So now we're going to talk about the app market opportunities, how to get listed in the app market, and what tools we offer you in order to enhance your app once it's published. Okay, so this is the app market where your app will eventually be listed. And this is also the place where users come to find solution for the website. User can find the best solution for them by browsing and exploring the categories and various collections, such as salon lineups, as you can see here, or by actively searching for it using the search box. Okay, and with almost 250 million potential users, the Wix App Market is an amazing opportunity. In 2022, we had 2.5 million app installations. And the app market is also fastly growing with a 60% growth in third-party apps in the last year. So with many feature requests coming in from website creators, the potential for success is very high. And now with Blocks, you have an even more efficient way to create apps and go live. If you're interested in seeing the top requested, as you can see here, for example, the top requested apps, you can visit devwix.com. And keep in mind that with the amazing potential in the app market, you can focus on the apps you are an expert in and not necessarily on the most requested one. And when it comes to the commercial terms, in the first year, there is a 100% revenue that goes to you and no processing fees. And once you've completed the development stage, you can click on Publish App, which will redirect you to the development center. And just please know that you should build a version of your app that you want to get listed in the app market before starting the publishing process. And you can get your app listed in a few simple steps. So the first one, you can set up your market listing and pricing plans. Then you can submit your app for review. And once the review process is complete and your app is approved, you can go live. Okay, so to attract the most relevant users to your app, make sure to define the app name, highlighting its main features, adding descriptive images, setting up the search keywords, and more. And these elements will not only shape the appearance of your app page on the app market, but also significantly contribute to enhancing its discoverability and increasing the chances of being found by potential users. During the app pricing stage, you need to define the app's business models and add the pricing plans you offer. You can choose from free, freemium, or premium business models, and then add the relevant pricing plans. And for each plan, you can include the benefits that highlights the differences between them. And after defining the pricing plans, you still need to implement app features with appropriate pricing plans, meaning that you need to connect between app features and pricing plans using Blocks Velo code or the traditional method using REST API. And we have a comprehensive guide that explains everything you need to know, including a code example. Our submission process is very smooth and efficient. With our automatic tools, you can get your app published very quickly. Before submitting your app for review, you need to resolve any blockers or recommendations. And please finalize all desired changes to your app before submitting it for review. And once the app is submitted, you will have to wait for our response before making any additional changes. So you need to make all the changes before. And the review process typically takes between 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so once your app is listed in the app market, it is very important to provide support to the users. And we provide a range of helpful tools to improve and enhance your app. For example, users who have used your app will provide reviews that offer valuable insights to help you enhance its quality. And you can manage these reviews through our developer center. And additionally, we offer app statistics, payouts reports, coupons, and more, all designed to assist you once your app is published and make it better. And just before I'm done, this was a quick explanation on a huge opportunity in the Wix App Market and how you can get listed in it. And we always love to hear and help you. And Grace will show how you can reach us.
Great. Would you be able to, could someone put the presentation back up?
Yeah, we're sharing.
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No worries. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, awesome. So this is how you can stay connected with us. So if you haven't joined our Discord already, it's an awesome place for you to do, join with other developers, talk about things app market. We also have a custom Discord channel for you, and there's plenty of Wix employees actually in there, so you can ask any questions that you have. We'll also be creating a custom thread after this webinar is over, should you have any other questions that arise after the webinar that you want to ask. And we also have a link to support tickets for any developer support that you might need. And I'll be typing them in the chat as well. You can also scan the QR code right on the slide to access these as well. Awesome. And now we are going to get to the Q&A section. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A. You can type them at the bottom of your screen. We do have a few questions that we will answer. The first one is, how do I manage this state? For example, my widget holds a quote of the day. The quote is generated by my server. How do I make the block to fetch the data? Or maybe can I store the quotes somehow on the Wix server?
Okay, so this is a great question. The Wix Blocks widgets hold properties. Now, the properties resemble a state that you can use in the widget itself, and you can use in the context of the widget and also outside. This is one way and a really preferable way to use it. It's easy, it's integrated inside the code, and you can do it directly, and there is documentation for it that you can find from Velo workspace. You can also, of course, use a database if you would like, just like we showed, and then take it and query and find the data that you want for the quote of the day from there, and then show it in the widget.
Awesome. All right, the next question. I have opened a request for using Wix Blocks component and got promoted to app proposal screen, but I already have a working app. What should I do?
Okay, so I think that any issues getting access to blocks, you can also contact us directly, and we will make sure you have all of the access to that. Any developer on Dev Center, once they're requesting access to blocks, will get it in a couple of days.
Okay, we have a few more, and also continue to ask you if you have any other questions that arise. Next question is, which app should I make? What are users looking for?
Okay, so you can check out our presentation as I showed before in the beginning to see the top requested apps and to see what we are looking for and what a user looking for. If you're not sure yet, you can always consult with us by opening a ticket to our support. And yeah.
I just want to maybe add to what Yeheli has mentioned, that basically a lot of the times we're getting like a request to see what are the top searches in the app market to understand what's like the potential. And as Yeheli showed, like the user base of Wix is more than 200 million users. So it's like focusing only on the top requests, I think it's like you'll just compete with lots of other developers. I would recommend trying to focus on the things you know best, how to create, to identify a business need you know uniquely how to solve. And basically this is what we see also in other app marketplaces for other platforms. The applications that succeed are solving unique cases, sometimes even specializing in special integrations that are tailored to a niche solution or a local geography, and this will actually be very attractive, like attract more consumers to you than just being yet another application focusing on a top general need.
Great, thank you. The next question is, where can I find the blocks documentation?
So the blocks documentation is available as part of the support, the global support portal. And once you go into blocks, you'll also have in the top bar a link to our documentation.
Right here, and also you can find it right here, and also
in the help. Like
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I opened the right one. Yeah, and you have it here as well. Wait a second. Sorry, just a second. I think I didn't show the screen correctly. Yeah, sorry. So we have it here in the Blocks workspace. Right here in this question mark tab, you have here the API reference for Velo and also our documentation directly, and also here help, and you can view Velo resources and help center and everything.
Okay, and next question, is it possible to integrate between Blocks and GitHub?
So we know this is one of the requests for pro developers, and it's the new ability that was lately introduced to Editor Wix. It's coming soon to Blocks as well, and we hope to have it ready like in a couple of months.
Okay, we have a few more questions. The next one is, how much time does it take to get on the app market from the first submission?
So for the first review, we commit to 15 business days, and on average takes about 2 to 3 weeks to go live. Yeah.
All right, next question. Do I need to add OAuth to my app?
To add what? Sorry, I missed the question. Auth?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you're developing on Blocks, since you're working on the Wix development infra, which is Velo, for the ones that are familiar with that, you don't need any auth. The application will run in the context of the site. And it's like basically as if your application is just hosted on the Wix servers. So no need for authentication.
And for now, it looks like the final question. If you have anything else, please ask in the Q&A. It says will Blocks apps appear in a different section in the app market?
So not at the moment, but if we see a lot of requests, we can considering it and do a research and maybe add a section in the future. But for now, we don't have this section.
So to complete that, basically your consumers won't even know how you created your application. Like, and if you explore the app markets today, there are already live applications created on Blocks by agencies, and already like with installations and premiums, and like your consumers have no way to identify them in a different way. And just as a secret, we're also creating applications internally in Wix on Blocks. Like we have the new portfolio solution that was created on Blocks, and many more that are already available.
Okay, awesome. That looks like the final question so far, but if anyone else has a question, feel free to ask it in the Q&A. We'll wait a couple more seconds to see if anything else pops up. But in the meantime, in the chat, I dropped 2 links. So that's from our Stay Connected tab. So you can join our Discord channel. That's where you can ask questions after this webinar is over. And then I also dropped the link to submit a support ticket. Okay, looks like that's everything. Again, if you have any further questions after, you can ask them in the Discord channel right there. And thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for making the time to be here. Thank you so much to all of our speakers. Awesome presentation, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.